What's up guys, it's Painterkot with another speed paint video. So after doing Draw This in Your Style Classic Edition, after trying to follow Leonardo da Vinci work, I thought that it will be cool to have another try with another painter, because yeah, I have suggestion in my Instagram about woman with a ferret. Maybe I'm translated wrong, but I think you know what I mean. But it is this artwork is also by Leonardo da Vinci, so yeah, I have to choose another artist. But yeah, I love ferrets, I love minks, but I have to choose another one. I'm sorry. So this time I choose Mikhail Vrubel. If you don't know, it is a Russian painter, and he is so cool. When I first saw his artworks face to face in Hermitage, in Russian Museum in Moscow in 213, I guess, and it was so cool. I was so inspired, and I spent 2 hours or maybe more in this area in museum, which was full of Vrubel works, and it was so cool. Of course, maybe most of you saw Demon by Vrubel, but today I will start with his царевна-лебедь. I don't know how to translate it correctly, because the word царевна, it hasn't anything similar in other languages. It's like queen, but maybe yeah, I have to say queen swan, but not actually. It's not the same, I think. Yeah, here it is. Please focus here. Dun dun dun. Yeah, I have my reference here, and yeah, it will be a really long video, so just prepare to watch really long video, because I spend 4.5 hours, I think, maybe a little bit more, because of after works, because of little tiny things that I did in the end. Yeah, so it's really long, and I advise you to have some, I don't know, coffee or tea, or maybe a glass of wine. And yeah, let's jump into the video. So guys, let's jump into this speed paint. But before, I need to tell you that this video is really long, as I mentioned before, and it lasts 31 minutes. So yeah, grab your favorite drink and just enjoy my speed paint. Of course, at the beginning I go to Painterkot almost to do everything in this art piece, because yeah, it is my favorite program and I like how it goes inside. At the end I go to Photoshop to work with text and have a little fun with contrast, because I don't know why, but artwork in Sai and in Photoshop, in my opinion, are a little bit different in color, because when you save your art piece in Sai in Photoshop format, it looks a little bit not the same, much more flat. I don't know how to explain it, but it looks flat in Photoshop when you open it. So yeah, you have to work a little bit with contrast in Photoshop, but maybe it's just in my head, because yeah, my eyes have some rest between one program and another, and maybe it's just my imagination, I don't know. At first, when one of my friends in ВКонтакте advised me to use this artwork by Mikhail Alexandrovich Vrubel, I thought that it wouldn't be hard for me, because it's really colorful, it have so many details as I love. But then, when I look closely to this artwork, when I actually start to work with it, I noticed that it has so many details on it, and these details are not as not strong enough to be really visible. But you know, if you look closer at the head of Princess Swan, you can see that it have so much pearls and metal details and lace and fabric and feathers, but they are all not separate. They look like one big splash of colors. So yeah, it was really difficult to sort out with all of these things, but I think it turns pretty good in my art piece, because yeah, I draw this in my style, and my style looks much more different than Vrubel. So let's talk a little bit more about one of my favorite artists. According to Wikipedia, his art style have some influence from late Byzantine and early Renaissance. Maybe, but I think it's like more modern. I don't know, so yeah, will be trust to Wikipedia. Also, according to Wikipedia, Vrubel born in March 17, 1856. At first, he made a military career because it was a family tradition, and then becoming a military lawyer. So, yeah, he wasn't an artist from his childhood. In 1880, he graduated from St. Petersburg University as a lawyer, but a little bit later, his father recognized his talent in art, and then Vrubel entered the Imperial Academy of Art, and then became the interesting part of his life. In 1884, he was summoned to replace the lost 20th century murals and mosaics in St. Kirill's Church of Kiev with new ones. In order to execute this commission, he went to Venice to study medieval Christian art. It was here that, in the words of an art historian, his palette accurate new strong saturated tones resembling the iridescent play of precious stones. Most of his work painted in Venice have been lost because the artist was more interested in creative process than in promotion his artwork. I think he, like Leonardo, he was interested in process more than in saving his artworks. So yeah, later on in 1886 he returned to Kiev while he submitted some designs from the newly built St. Vladimir Cathedral. The jury, however, failed to appreciate the novelty of his works, and they were rejected. At that period, he executed some illustrations for Hamlet and Anna Karenina, which had little in common with his later demon and prophet themes. In 1905, he created the mosaic of the Hotel Metropole in Moscow, of which the centerpiece of the facade overlooking Theatralny Square is occupied by the mosaic panel Princess of Dream. Whew, yeah, it was a lot of information. While in Kiev, Vrubel started painting sketches and watercolors illustration The Demon from the long romantic poem of Mikhail Lermontov. Yeah, I recently read some of Lermontov's works, especially Demon and Hero of the modern time. I don't know how to translate it correctly, but yeah, they are really great. The poem described the carnival passion of an eternal nihilistic spirit of a Georgian girl, Tamara. All that period, Vrubel developed a keen interest in Oriental art, and particularly Persian carpets, and even attempt to imitate their texture in his paintings. Oh my god, I just really remember the thing it was at my first year in college, and we imitate texture of Persian carpets on felt, and maybe our teacher just read something about Vrubel, and that's why we have this really strange task, because no one before us and after us, no one have this task. In 1890, Vrubel relocated to Moscow, where he could best follow the Bourguignon innovation and trends in art. Like other artists associated with the Art Nouveau style, he excelled not only in painting but also in applied arts such as ceramics, maiolics, and stained glass. He also produced architectural masks, stage sets, and costumes. It is the large painting The Sealed Demon that brought notoriety to Vrubel. Most concentrative critics accused him of wild ugliness, whether the art patron Sava Mamontov praised the Demon series as fascinating symphonies of a genius and commissioned Vrubel to paint decoration for his private opera and mansions for his friends. Unfortunately, the Demon, like other Vrubel works, doesn't look as it did when it was painting, as the artist added bronze powder on his oils in order to achieve particularly luminous, glistering effects which deteriorated over time. During 1896, he met the famous opera singer Nadezhda Zabella. Half a year later, they married and settled in Moscow, where Zabella was invited by Mamontov to perform in his private opera theater. While in Moscow, Vrubel designated stage sets and costumes for his wife, who sang the parts of the Snow Maiden, the Swan Princess, and Princess Volkhova in Rimsky-Korsakov's operas. Using Russian fairy tales, he executed some of his most acclaimed pieces, including Pan, the Swan Princess, yeah, I was right, it is Swan Princess, and Lilacs. Vrubel was not only a painter, he was a master of maiolika. He created a maiolika frieze in Hotel Metropole in Moscow, as I already mentioned. He was a member of Abramtseva Circle, creative community who tried to create the total work of art. Vrubel also made some architectural projects, such a project of a house of Mamontov in Moscow. Yeah, I saw it and it is really great. In 1901, Vrubel returned to demonic themes in the large canvases like Demon Downcast. In order to astound the public with a spiritual message, he repeatedly repainted the demon's ominous face, even after the painting had been exhibited of the overwhelmed audience. At the end, he had a severe nervous breakdown and he was hospitalized in a mental clinic. Vrubel's mental illness was initiated or complicated by tertiary syphilis. Oh my god, I didn't know that. While there, he painted a mystical pearl oyster and variations on the themes of Alexander Pushkin's poem The Prophet. In 1906, overpowered by mental disease and approaching blindness, he ceased painting. Vrubel died in April 14, 1910, in St. Petersburg in Russia. So guys, it is the end of the video. If you like it, give me a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and push this little notification bell for not to miss my newest video. And yeah, I hope I'll see you soon with another Draw This in Your Style classical edition. And guys, I forgot, if you have any suggestions to what should I do next, maybe I want to see your suggestions. Write me in the comments. I have some thoughts about it, but maybe if you suggest something really cool, really inspiring, I'll draw, yeah, I'll make the thing that you suggest me. So let's see whose suggestions would be the coolest. And I hope to see you soon, guys, on my channel. Bye bye!